Hey guys, it's beautyriotx. No, it's Jen from beautyriotx. And I thought today we would just play with some makeup. Some of it's kind of new. Some of it was sent from a company that I wanted to try out. These sponges that are supposed to be like, one's for full coverage, one's for like medium buildable coverage. I thought we would try out and compare. And I thought we would chat and you could find out what I'm up to, being stuck inside during this odd time of life. And we'll get ready together. So let's do it. I have my assistant Louie over here.
Mom, I just saw a bug.
Oh gosh.
It's getting on me.
Oh
Can you help me find him?
no! It's gone now, it's fine. I'm gonna start with the new e.l.f. Puff Puff Primer. It's hemp-derived cannabis sativa. So this is for normal dry combination hemp oil and amino-rich formula that helps nourish, hydrate, and condition skin. Oh, P.S. If you watched my recent Ipsy Battle of the Boxes BoxyCharm unboxing video, one of the products we got in my Ipsy Glam Bag Plus, this is very thick, was this mask slash scrub from this company I've never heard of called Bloom Effects. And it was this mask that you leave on for like 10 to 20 minutes, or, oh god, this is super thick. Or you could use it fast and just use it as like a face scrub. Well, I try to use it as like a mask. Oh dear god, this is like hard to like smooth onto your face. Wow. I tried to use it last night like as a face mask. First off, I opened it and it was like walking into a wall of alcohol. First of all, like that's the first scent that hit me in the face and took my breath away. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use it, just maybe it'll surprise me. I left it on for about 15 minutes and I rinsed it off, and while my face did feel smooth because it had like granules in it of pumice that felt like I was massaging crushed cement into my face, it was so painful. When I washed it off, with literally in seconds, my face dried on its own within seconds. I'm not exaggerating. It felt like the life was sucked out of my skin. I piled on so much skincare to make up for the loss of moisture. I still didn't feel any I still felt severe loss of hydration from my skin from that mask. If you are a very dry skinned person, tread lightly with that product if you received it. And for 50 bucks, alcohol was the second ingredient in that product. I had to look up which alcohol it was, and I'll write it on the screen. It's not even the good alcohol, because you know some alcohols like are okay. This wasn't even the okay alcohol, and it's in there twice. The second ingredient, and then lower on the ingredient list. Anyway, tread lightly with that, okay? If you're like super oily, maybe you'll be okay, but still, it was not good. Primer's on, let's do our eyes. I'm very excited about this. This is the LA Girl Pro Mastery Eyeshadow Palette. This reminds me very much of the Huda Beauty like nude palette. I'm very much into nudes lately. I have no idea why. Ooh, beautiful. You did.
And pretty.
I saw somebody use this, like a YouTuber I usually don't watch, but I was looking for some product that she was using and I searched it and she was one of the videos that came up and she was really cute, so I watched her. So I'm actually gonna use this one too if I need to. It's the Pro Artistry palette from LA Girl, and it's more of the like cool neutral one that my daughter used on me in my video I did with her recently. I'll dip into that if I need to, but for the most part, I'm gonna try to just use this one. So honestly, most days have been kind of a struggle. I mean, every day is Groundhog Day. And I've found that my favorite GIF slash meme is the one from the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, and it's where he says, "What if there is no tomorrow? There wasn't one today." That's how I feel every day. There is no tomorrow. I haven't felt like, oh, this is great, I can start that new project. I mean, and it's not to say like I feel miserable every day, I definitely don't, but I do feel that sense of, I don't even want to say hopelessness, because that's not what it is. I do feel like this will end someday, but I don't feel like that day is going to be anytime soon. You know, I do wake up with some kind of sense of purpose, like I'm not going to spend this quarantine gaining weight. I'm just not going to do it. I haven't been heavy my whole life, but I haven't been thin. So I'm trying to just use this time in quarantine to just become a better shape for myself. I wake up every morning and the first thing I do is work out. I've been doing that, and I started this before quarantine. I have a friend's wedding. It's in September if all this goes away. And I started, you know, working out for that purpose, but I was doing so well. And this is what happens for me when working out comes into play. I hate working out. I hate it. It's one of the things I detest in life because I can never stick to it. I just can't. Like I'll do, what is that saying? Or not a saying, but what is that, not plan, what is that thing that people say, oh, if you can stick to something for 21 days, it becomes a habit or whatever. That's not true for me. Usually at 21 days, I'm like, okay, it worked kind of, I'm done. Or something happens where I just stop doing my good job of working out and succeeding in that way. And P.S., these are not as pigmented as I thought they were going to be. I want to say I've actually at this point, now, like I said, my working out thing has been going on. Like I started doing it. I will write on the screen when I started doing it because I don't know, but I can tell you because it's in my messages with my friend Kayla when, like around the time I started actually working out. And my most time of actually working out straight is probably between like 2 and 3 weeks. But now, this is probably the longest I've ever consistently worked out every single day. With maybe 1 day a week I've not, here and there. Like a Saturday I've taken off, but this is probably the longest time I've gone 100% working out faithfully. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So in that sense, I'm like, well, I'm not screwing it up by just stopping and letting all that hard work go to waste. And for that reason alone, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep this going. Because you know what? Once I finally come out of quarantine, I want people to be like, wow, she looks great, not, ugh. That what happened to her while in quarantine? That's a shame. Because you know what? I've been a stay-at-home mom for so long. I've been through that. I've been through, like when I came home with Lou, I went through the whole recovery from a C-section where it was hard to move. So I spent months sitting on the couch with her and gaining all that weight and not losing any of the baby weight. So I've been there, okay? I know what that feels like and it sucks. And losing that weight is hard. I mean, I'm probably never going to have a flat stomach. Even with all this working out, I still have that nice C-section pouch that will probably never go away, and I've accepted that. But I mean, I can still try, and I am losing weight in a ton of other places, so I'm not gonna let that go to waste because we're under quarantine. There's a ton of other things that I can do. Oh man, but I am the queen of joining gyms, going for like a month, and then just stopping. And then I guess like 2 years ago, I made the mistake of joining a gym, you know, makes you sign a contract. So I literally went 5 times, never went again, and ended up paying for the remainder of the year. That's how stupid I am. I have to say, I am not pleased with this artistry palette. It is definitely not as pigmented as I was hoping it was going to be. Like the nudie looking one, like at all. This, I might actually just pass on to my daughter. I mean, I'm sure the metallics are fine, but I'm not even interested in trying them. I'll swatch a few of them for you. And they're pretty, but pretty disappointed. I know I didn't do a ton with it, but you can tell right off the bat if a shade is pigmented, and these aren't. So I'm actually going to try to salvage this eye look with my KKW Classic palette. And when I come back, we will play with these base blue cosmetic sponges and see how they work. See if they're any good. BRB, ready for foundation. These are the base blue air sponges. Now, before we get into this, I just need to make something clear. I will always be honest when I am sent anything, but here will be the difference as opposed to when I buy something and review it for you guys. I'll always be honest, but I won't be a dick about it. Like if a company sends me something, I won't be like, man, this thing's a fucking piece of shit. It's easier to trash something that you bought yourself and wasted your money on than it is for somebody to send you something and then you trash it, because then you're just being a dick. So I'll always be honest, I just might not be as vile when I'm being honest, if that makes sense. So, disclaimer, this was sent to me. So this one is for full coverage, and this pink one is for medium medium buildable coverage. So I'll do full coverage on this side and then medium buildable on this side. And like I'll zoom in if you can see. I don't know how you can pull that off with sponges, but I guess we'll see. I have one of my favorite foundations, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. I mixed two colors together because the color that I thought I would be, they didn't have in stock, so I bought the two that I thought I could mix and make my own. And these are the shades soft beige and soft ivory. And the directions are basically just the same as every other kind of beauty sponge. You know, I'm just gonna do one layer of each on each, like one layer on each side. And to be fair, this isn't right off the bat like a full coverage foundation, but I mean, it's also a foundation that I'm very familiar with, so I know what to expect. Now, just as a sponge, it feels really nice. Like, it's soft, but it's not as soft as the e.l.f. sponge, which is fine because my only issue with the e.l.f. sponge is that it's a little too soft. All right, here's the medium buildable. I'm not gonna look like up close and personal until I'm totally done. And I'll use them both for my concealer too, because they have like the really pointy edges. I normally use the e.l.f. concealer sponge, which I love for concealer. At first when I tried it, I was like, I don't know, but I love it. I don't know if it's my eyes playing tricks, but this side does look more full coverage than this side, and I didn't put any extra layers on this side. Can you tell, or is it just me? Is it just me? I absolutely feel like this side, for some reason, has more coverage. I don't know, I feel like I can see more. Like that redness on my nose right here, which is definitely on both sides because that scrub I used last night destroyed my nose. I can see the redness over here, I can't see it over here. Now obviously, whether it's my eyes playing tricks on me or not, maybe I have more on this side that has to be covered up. And like I said, this isn't a full coverage foundation. I see more covered on this side, but regardless, either sponge will eventually give you full coverage if you know, layer on a little bit more, but that might be a thing. These are both around like $6 or $7, so still really affordable. I'm gonna go in with the Hey Honey Trick and Treat Concealer from Hey Honey, and it's in the shade Light Medium. And listen, another product I do really like. However, it also has alcohol in it, and I don't mean like alcohol, whatever, like straight alcohol. It's more towards the middle of the ingredient list, but still. I just don't understand how we're still adding these kind of ingredients to our beauty products. You know what, that's what it is. It feels very much like my e.l.f. concealer sponge, like texture-wise, just slightly, I don't want to say harder, like it feels hard, but just slightly denser, but the softness and the closeness of it, if that makes sense. Like this feels like it's a lot airier and it feels like it's a little more textured, but this feels like a smoother texture. That's what I want to say. The texture is different. It feels much more like the actual concealer sponge by e.l.f. I'm really hoping e.l.f. comes out with more stuff because I've been really loving the stuff I've been trying from them lately. Oh right, the primer. My foundation doesn't look its best. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna zoom you in. I don't know if you'll be able to know what I'm talking about, but this foundation usually looks very skin-like on me and not dewy, like wet or greasy, but it just usually looks very skin-like. Like, it like melts into my skin. But this is like borderline looking dry. I have to think it might be the primer because that's the only thing different. Like, I don't think it's the sponges. Sponges can't make your foundation look dry, can they? I think the last product we have is a new blush from Milani. Actually, Milani has 4 new blushes out, maybe 5, but I got 2 of them. 2 I think are exclusive to Target. 1 is this one. I think this is the Wild, well, I know this is the Wild Rose. I think this is one of them that's exclusive to Target. This is the Wild Rose blush, which is what I'll be using today. I love these. I used to think they were more expensive. I thought they used to be like $10. Same with these, but these are both like $6 at Target, oddly enough. And this is the Baked Blush in Sunset Passion. Oh, and they also have the shade Petal Primavera, which is a bit lighter. Maybe I should use, this one would probably be better. I'll swatch them all, but I think I'm gonna use Wild Rose today. We have Petal, Wild Rose, and then Sunset. Sunset, Wild Rose, Petal. Good. They're all like pretty different. Some of, at first I was like, it'd be possibly similar, but no, they're all different. Yay. And I think I'm gonna use Wild Rose because I like this one. I mean, I like them all, but you know what I'm saying. These are these flower ones can get really pigmented. Coral Cove is probably one of the best shades in the world. It's like that neon coral shade. Don't be scared of it, it's amazing. This is gorgeous. I knew it would be. Milani doesn't make bad blushes. And I do actually have a lip shade. I'm wearing a shade by Lorella right now. This is a gloss called Leave That For You, which I really like because it's almost like a liquid lipstick that's still kind of a gloss, like it's not sheer, which is why I actually really like it, and it's not like sticky or anything. But I got this Color Boost Mad About Matte liquid lipstick from Essence in the shade Partner in Crime, and I liked it because it was like an orangey kind of shade. And I haven't used it yet, but I'll swatch it for you. Oh, it is orange. I figure I love orange blushes. Maybe I should dive into more orangey lipsticks. So I'm gonna put this in my drawer and I'll use it next time. And I'll finish with one of my recent favorite highlighters. This is the Laura Mercier Matte Radiance Baked Powder in Highlight 01. And this is almost like a pearlescent eyeshadow almost. I guess I get where the whole matte radiance comes in, but it's definitely not matte. It's subdued, but it's still very, very luminescent. I love it. It hits you in just the right spot, so it's not blinding, but it's still like very much there. Great for staying at home and doing nothing. That was it. My final thoughts on the newer things. Obviously, most things I'm gonna have to still kind of play with, but right from first impressions, I'm not overly thrilled with this. How many times do you need to use an eyeshadow to kind of realize you don't love it? I might try it one more time, maybe with a different eye primer, but listen, I've used this eye primer, this e.l.f. Putty primer, with, at this point, hundreds of eyeshadows, and I love it. I can't imagine it's this primer's fault that I don't like this. I'll try it one more time, but I hate blaming an eyeshadow's performance on an eye primer. Like, an eyeshadow should work with any eye primer. But I will try it like one more time. But off the bat, I'm kind of disappointed. I am gonna try this another time. I'm gonna try using a bit more. From far, I mean, honestly, from far away and up close, it doesn't look bad, but my foundation doesn't look as good as it normally does. And I mean, it has to be this. This is the only new thing that I'm using face-wise. So yeah, I'm gonna try this a few more times and use it. And you know what, in the end, I'll probably just end up mixing more hydrating primers with it because I'm not gonna waste this. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It's not supposed to be mattifying or anything. I'll just find other things to make it more hydrating and just start mixing it with things. But by itself, first impression, again, not thrilled, but I'll try it again on its own, time or two more, and maybe just use a bit more. And then if that doesn't work out, I'll just start mixing it with shit. These sponges, first impression, are really nice. Again, how many times do you need to use a sponge to know if you like it or not? I did off camera use it for my cream bronzer, cream contour. It was very nice. It did everything that I wanted it to do. It's a good price, it's reasonable, it seemed to do what it claimed. So I definitely will use these again and more in the future because it's always good to have backup sponges. So I'll leave the link to these. It's not an affiliate link. I don't get anything if you guys use the link, but I'll leave this link to these sponges in the box below if you guys want to check them out for yourself. And they sell like lashes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they're a newer company, so I'm sure they'll be coming out with more things, which they didn't say I was on their PR list, but if they ever send me other things, then I'll most likely try them in videos. If not, then, you know, that's fine too. Yes, of course, yes. And listen, I've been using this Revlon Color Stay brow lights since I got it. Upon first trying it, I was like, oh, this is just fine. Like, you don't need it. Don't run out and get it. I love how big and chunky it is. Like, I do my brows in like 5 seconds per brow. 10 seconds, I'm done. I'd absolutely repurchase this. I use the color taupe. I'm a fan. I hope you guys are surviving this. I shouldn't say that because a ton of people are not surviving. I hope you are safe and at home and appreciating your health at this time. If you do have a loved one who is not healthy and is not safe and is, you know, in the hospital, or who is someone who's forced to work and expose themselves, or who is, God bless them, a doctor, a nurse, somebody who works in the health field, that helping others who are in need, you know, God bless them. They're in our prayers, and we thank them so much for their service. Let me know what you guys are doing to pass the time. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this, and let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, because I have nothing but time. And even though I probably should be putting out more videos, it's like, now that I have all this time, I mean, I always have time. What am I kidding? I'm a stay-at-home mom. But you know what I mean? Like, now that everybody has time, I'm like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? If there are certain videos you guys want to see, please let me know. I would love to hear ideas because, you know, writer's block and shit. Sorry, Lou.
Mom, I'm taking your picture.
Okay, cheese. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay safe, stay home, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.